Hello, my name is Mr. Invidian, also known as Envy. I am one half of the Not IT guys. I'm here for a special stream today. Today we are opening up an old friend here. We're booting up some Minecraft, and I'm gonna go over a world that I haven't touched in over a decade. Now, the original premise behind this world and why I made it in the first place was because I used to be a big fan of this YouTube channel. I'm sure many of you have heard of them more than you've heard of us, called Achievement Hunter. And they had another channel dedicated called Let's Play, where they hosted all of their Let's Play content. This was one of my favorite YouTube channels back in the day. So I really enjoyed their content, and so I decided, you know what, I had some spare time in my life, I was going through some stuff, so I thought what I'd really enjoy doing was just to build my own Achievement Hunter world. Now, Achievement Hunter, they played a lot of Minecraft back in the day. One of the things that they had going for them in their own little span of Minecraft was they had this city that they made called Achievement City. In it, all of the cast members for the series, Michael Jones, Jeff Ramsey, Ryan Haywood, Jack, can't remember Jack's last name. Can't remember his last name for some reason. I know it started with a P. And then eventually Jeremy Dooley, who replaced Ray, Matt Bragg, and a few other people. They all had their own little houses and stuff, and it was like their own little community within Minecraft, and they would get all into all sorts of shenanigans and mini games and stuff like that they created, they designed, and they played through. So today, what I want to show you is the world that I began working on way back in the day. It's over here. This one right here, it's called Achievementopolis. This was the world that I created that was inspired by Achievement Hunter. It was recently ported over, so it's been a minute since I've worked on it. And then, welcome everyone. I can't remember the button to hold my, oops, no, not screenshots. How do I hide my UI? What is the command to hide my, oh shit. Oh, that's how I go from full screen to windowed mode. Oh, literally F1. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, welcome. We start our view of the world in what is called the Shrine of Pimps. Got some signage over here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ye owe glory to the Shrine of Pimps. They had this thing where whoever won one of the mini games or challenges would be able to erect the Tower of Pimps, as they called it. It was 4 gold blocks on top of a block of obsidian. And so that's what this is. So this is a shrine dedicated to the Tower of Pimps. Over here we've got some more signage. The tenets of Pimps. Thou shalt not leave a fellow pimp in the lurch. Thou shalt not provoketh the Ramses. And thou shalt respect the tower even after civilization falls. And then over here, and so the Ramses commanded unto us, let it be known, the tower stands tall, representing all true pimps, so that one day our children can remember and be moved, and so that they too can become pimps themselves. I know it's cheesy, listen, I'm fully aware, but that's half the fun. It's half the fun of the just random BS that they did back in the day. And so this was the starting point. This is what the world came to be. And I do want to say, really quickly, hold on. Let's pull Streamlabs back up over here. I do want to say really quickly that, a big thing about this world is it is all handcrafted. Like, every single detail that you're going to see today was not made in the game with any mods or anything else. I literally assembled it all by hand, not even using a building tool. So please bear that in mind. It's an unfinished world, but there's enough here that I wanted to show it off. Because back when I made this, in 2015, I want to say, Jeremy Dooley was a brand new cast member. This was before the allegations regarding Ryan. And it's just... Achievement Hunter really helped me out mentally when I was going through it. And so, I just want to show the world off. And show you guys what the me from 10 years ago created. You can see my unfinished statue of Gavin over there on the side, across from the statue of Jeff. He used the Master Chief avatar, Gavin used a creeper. This is the entryway to the Achievement Hunter Let's Play Achievementopolis City. There are plots over here you can see for various other statues. Never finished. The entryway to the Shrine of Pimps, complete with partial arch built in the back, and there was going to be a little cave system underneath the entire city. We're going to continue forward past the monolithic Tower of Pimps displays that provided light during the evening. And here we are at the city center. Right there with the Achievement Hunter logo. And you can see there's a few houses dotted around. Some of this may look vaguely familiar if you've ever watched their content. And some of it may look brand new. The themes of it are fairly new. For example, in the original series, Jeff's house was a giant stone monolith. Here I built a awe-inspiring marble tower. And that's where we're going to start our tour of the city itself. Over here next to this little cul-de-sac-y area, across from Michael and Lindsay's house, we have Jeff's house. Now there is an unfinished basement layer to this, but the general idea for Jeff's house was to make it look stand out. Just to make it something that adhered to the original design philosophy associated with the giant stone monolith that Jeff supported. And I feel like I did a decent job hitting that. We have a lot of these sea lamps and a lot of these other lights that come from the end. I can't remember what they're called because it's been a while since I actually sat and played Minecraft. And the tower just, when you're inside, it just goes up and up and up. You know, all the basic functions of the house. You've got the crafting tables, you've got the anvils, some stoves, you've got some storage crates. You have Jeff's brewery stand with some Pepto-Bismol in it because he's old and needs Pepto-Bismol for the acid reflux and all the other indigestion issues, which the older I get, the more I feel that. And his bed is blue because when I originally looked this up, it was because I had read that blue was Jeff's favorite color. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but hey, that's what we're here for. So we're gonna go up the stairs to the second story. And there's not a whole lot in the inside of the tower. You can go out, you can look around the outside. It goes fully around 360 degrees on this level. But it doesn't stop there. We can take this going up and further up. And up, and some more up, and then we can look down and see that if we ever fell from this height, we'd die painfully. I have always enjoyed this just one window that goes straight up the entire shaft. And then we are on the top floor with this fancy balcony here that overlooks exclusively what would have been in the distance over here had I continued to make it. So the thing about Achievement City is that it was made on an island in the game, and that's what this was originally going to be, an island itself. Unfortunately, you can see I did not make a ton of progress with it. I got the hub and a couple of other things done. You can see off in the distance over there, there's another thing. But I never finished it. I wanted to, but the motivation burned out on me. And not too long after I had decided that I might consider picking up the mantle again, they created their own new Minecraft world, and the channel didn't last that much longer after that point. We'll proceed down here. Since we're in creative, we'll just hop down. And we'll go take a look at Michael and Lindsay's house. Now this is going to date when this world was made specifically, because there was a time in Michael and Lindsay's life where a visitor came to stay with them for a little bit and had their own room. This is Carrie's room, the person who came to stay with them. A nice, simple room here, next to a trap door. We won't be going down here, but we will be going down there soon. Little creeper head, in homage to Gavin free. Little dinette, and a full kitchen. And on Michael's brewing stand, we have AH Brew, AH Special Brew. They did drink themselves a lot of alcohol, especially during the off-topic podcast. And then we have Michael and Lindsay's bedroom, complete with little pink bed for, I believe at the time Lindsay was pregnant with their daughter. And so, much more simplistic compared to Jeff's house, but I mean, you can't all be Jeff's house, right? Down here, if we look real fast, we have a little water pool, and down below was another entrance to what would be the supposed entrance to that cave network that I talked about. Wrapping all around Jeff's house is this nice little creek that followed through. And then all the way here, right next to Jeff's house, we have... We might as well get this one over with. Now, 10 years removed from when I last looked at into anything really Achievement Hunter related, I don't even remember at this point what specifically everything was about, but I believe it was grooming stuff. Because of course it's grooming stuff, it always seems to be grooming stuff. Which makes me feel a little bit better about never actually finishing this one. But it does have a library over here you can see through the window, complete with an enchanting table. And then over on the other side is the actual apartment, with a loft bedroom directly above. And I believe Ryan was a big fan of Coke, Diet Coke, so I gave him, of course, Diet Pepsi. Now, between ports of this from an older Minecraft version, which this was originally made in, to this version, this no longer functions. I don't actually know why that is, but we are where we are. So we'll just fly out. And then we'll proceed to the other side. And we'll start with perhaps one of the most iconic cast members, even if I can't remember his last name. Jack's house. So here we are in Jack's house. You can see down below there's a glass floor overlooking the Achievement Hunter mines. I believe I called it the mineral mines here. The nice field outside. Remember, all of this was handcrafted. Each block placed individually for the better or worse that entailed. Jack over here as well has the AH Special Brew in his brewing stands. And a little corner dinette. Now, I could not get the lava block in the ceiling because that only worked on really old versions of Minecraft. But we have this nice, gigantic bedroom with wraparound windows, including one that overlooks the town center. And the entire theme of this was more like Californian, I guess. Armor of Pimps. We'll do Gavin's house last. Next we will go to Jeremy's house. Now, at the time of making this, Jeremy was a fairly new cast member. And so they had done a full revamp of Ray's old house when he joined the crew. So, in honor of that, I decided to give him one of the nicest looking houses in the entire space. Or at least I hope it looks nice. It was designed to match that same thematic vibe as the original, just like all the houses are. Inside here we have a corner sectional sofa with bookshelves and flowers, a fully functional fireplace, a booth dinette, and full granite countertop kitchen. I can't remember what I was designing here, but I believe it was a secret room underneath. Yep. It sure was. Too bad I don't remember how to activate it. At all. So we're going to ignore that, because I don't remember how to activate it at all. Upstairs with the marble ceiling. An additional fireplace. And giant king-sized bed. We also have this little seating area over here, kind of like a TV space, with toggleable lights. And then up here, oops. Well, screw it, I was having problems with it last time. Up here we have the storage room in the attic with the enchanting table. Because I believe all the houses, except for I think Michael's, have an enchanting table. Oh, and Jeff's. I think that was a late edition I was working on. And just never finished. That was Jeremy's house. We'll proceed over here to Gavin's house now. Now, Gavin's house was notorious for being covered wall to wall in paintings and being built into the ground itself. So with that in mind, I tried to keep the same theme, but make the house a little bit bigger and more fantastical. So inside, if we open the specific door that isn't blocked by the painting, we can look around in here to the wall-to-wall paintings in the house. There's the bed, storage, kitchen space with some more AH brew, and a little jukebox. We've got a bench seating here. Any basic crafting supplies. You can look out through these windows here, but they're the only ones. And these nice redstone ceiling lamps. Now, Gavin's house, along with Michael's house, had something secret and special about it. And we can see that through this painting here. The one that honestly looks a little bit like Gavin. And this was Gavin's secret trophy room, indicating the Tower of Pimps that he won in all of the events that he participated in, like Hunger Games, Shopping List, Mad King Ryan, Enter the Nega Tower, and Fishing, Rodeo, and Jamboree number 3. Now, Gavin was on a team with Michael that they called themselves Team Nice Dynamite. And that's what we have here, is the secret entrance to the Team Nice Dynamite lair. And inside is the trophy room for the team itself, along with all of the towers of TNT and diamonds all around. Proceeding back along this way, we will be able to reach Michael's house again, through his own little portrait, in front of the chair of contemplation. And to the full circle that we have experienced, we are back to where we began the house tours. Well, almost. Now, there's a bit more to this world than just their houses. I spent quite a bit of time on all of this, for all the better and the worse that it entails. And that includes this area down here. So what we have right here are some additional housing units for some of the more come-and-go members of Achievement Hunter for the era. These are the guest bungalows. So over here we have Matt Bragg's bungalow. So he would have his own space. I think this is just thick potion, yep. And over here is reserved for the future Jeremy replacement, which did eventually come to pass, technically, which was a little sad. And then Micah's bungalow. And then, yeah. But more importantly, we have Achievement Station. Now, we'll see later in this build what the original Achievement Station looked like, because yes, I did build that as well. But for now, we can just look at this and understand that the intention behind it was to build an entire subway system beneath the city. We'll look at that in just a moment, but first we'll start with a little map here. This was going to be the original size of the island, much bigger than the original that they had made, and the island itself was called Rooster Teeth Island because they were a Rooster Teeth subsidiary. And everything was laid out so it would be easy to find. Or at least that was the hope. So we are the green dot up there, and everything that we've explored until now you can see on the map itself. Some ideas that I had included some themes for where everything was going to go, including a secret Ray memorial just buried in C7, so that would have been right around here-ish. Yep. Right here. Quite a ways away. But that was not something that ever came to pass. We'll go back into Achievement Station real fast with the Achievement Hunter flags to the best star shape that I could muster at the time. And we will go down. Actually, I think it's the other side we want to go down. Now this was incomplete, but going down this way we can see the general idea of how this was supposed to all look. Multiple train paths going to varying locations, each with a labeled sign indicating where they all went, to make their journeys a little bit easier to traverse. You'd put your mine carts down on the track, and then off you go. Each and every entrance, even the unfinished ones. And then paths in between. I remember how much fun I had building all of this at the time. It seems really stupid to spend so much time working this hard on what is effectively a fan project. And I was a big Rooster Teeth Achievement Hunter Let's Play fan. I would not call myself their biggest fan. I just did what I wanted to at the time. And that's okay. So what we haven't looked at yet is all the way over here, past the little pool of water, which does have its own little path underground. And yes, those coal blocks were also hand-placed. But over here, we have what was one of their more popular annual series that they did on the channel. This was the area I had set aside for fishing, rodeo, and jamboree. A little dock that would have been filled with water eventually. I would have done a world edit to bring some water up. Or, you know, filled it by hand. Whatever worked. Each participant would sit in their little seat and do some fishing out the side. And you had to catch a certain amount of fish. And a few other stipulations. This was a handcrafted little beach area. Probably needed a little bit more sand. It's not perfect, but it works for what it is. And then signage here hanging up for all of the winners of the fishing, rodeo, and jamborees that they did. At least up until that time when I started working on the map. There's one last piece that I had started working on that I hadn't gotten around to finishing. I hear mobs as well, so I can't quite remember what was under this point. But clearly, I built something in here. Or maybe I didn't. I see. You know, you go through and you find these little details that you just kind of forget about when you initially make these maps. And it is interesting to see again. But right now we'll go to what is effectively one of my favorite places that I started working on, even if it was never finished. And that's all the way over here, and I will look this way so as not to spoil it too quickly. But it all came to a head of leading through, not from the train station, but through this tunnel. This was Achievement Hunter Monopoly. This was going to be a semi-underground. You can tell by how I had the ground crafted around it. Monopoly board. They played Monopoly in Minecraft on the channel before. This was a representation of that, including iconic set pieces. So from Go, we have Ray's house. And this is a one-to-one recreation of Ray's house. How it appeared in the early episodes of Achievement Hunter, their Let's Play series for Minecraft. Now, these board pieces, like Ray's house, these I did not decide myself. These are actually the names of the locations that they used on their own Monopoly board. And I just recreated set pieces to represent them. So this is community chest, so I built a big blue box to represent the chest. Carrie's corner is just a little corner here in the stone. Income bunts. There's nothing here for this one. And here's that achievement station I was talking about, the recreation of the original. The full design of it. Over here we have the shag tent, which was used, I believe, in a Nether series, or something akin to that, 4 beds in a little safe house. The sign is accurate to the series because of filters for the Xbox version. We have Chance. I built a question mark. Jack's Knob. This was in their original Achievement City build, so don't be too offended by it. Must be Jeremy Dooley height to stand under, because Jeremy Dooley is notoriously not very tall. Over here we have Creeper Soccer, which I made a miniature course for. Then we have Free Edgar and Edgar's Hole. This is a little jail cell. You could fly out of it if you were in creative, if you wanted to. But a big premise of this was you had to be let in and out. Then over here we have Jeremy's house, or Little Jay's house. And this was the recreated version of Ray's house, which we had saw earlier. Which they had spent all that time fixing up to make it look nice and neat. Including secondary entrance, some additional rooms to the sides. Little fireplace. Pictures in the torches. I don't remember what was in this dispenser. It's been a while. Over here we have AH Labs, so I built a big potion vial. Using different colored glass. Here we have Monopoly board, so I made a miniaturized version of the Monopoly board. And a few others that I unfortunately never finished. Over here we have free sleeping, in which I made the free sleep motel, with a couple of rooms for people who are on this space to camp out in. And then all the way at the other corner of the board, there is the police officer telling you to go to jail. Scrub. This is when I was actually good at building in Minecraft. I wouldn't say that I still am. But yeah, this was Achievementopolis. This was a little bit of a passion project for me at the time. And to give a little bit more background into me and why I cared so much about this is because back in 2015, I wasn't having the best time. You know, Can I put literally anything else in my hand? Just do it. Okay, that'll work. I have a torch. Okay. I was not in the best place mentally. And I'm sure, like, no one ever really is, right? I mean, have you seen the state of the world lately? But working on this and other things like it really helped. When I look at this, when I saw this for the first time when I booted it up recently, I had all of this overwhelming nostalgia for it. And just where I was at, how much I loved watching these guys, and everything else. When I stopped watching their content, it was around the time, I think, that they had like Trevor and Alfredo and Kai and a few other people in there, and it just didn't feel like the same Achievement Hunter that I had been watching. And things change, you know, you can never expect anything to stay the same. People were getting older, people weren't as committed anymore, and that's fine. I mean, what can you do? Life is life, and everyone can get burned out, no matter how or what their job is. I unsubscribed right around a year before Achievement Hunter closed. There is a variety of reasons why that happened, complete with a big media buyout that bought the company and then eventually shuttered it. But not a day goes by that I don't think fondly of the memories that I had watching these guys and what that represented to me. You know, me and Tigron, we usually try to keep things lighthearted on this channel. And I don't want to bring anyone down or anything like that, but I definitely have those moments where I wish these guys were still around. And right now, my big go-to series that I watch on YouTube, that's like my big there's a big cast and like everyone's interacting with each other. That's Smosh these days, and I do love Smosh, but Achievement Hunter just had a completely different vibe that I don't think anyone has ever really replicated, and it's kind of sad. I would love to see maybe not them all coming back together, but maybe one day a reunion. I know Bernie purchased Rooster Teeth back, but there is always the question of whether or not we will see Achievement Hunter again. Fuck you, zombie. There's no telling what the future will hold. But I want to leave you guys with some parting words. It comes from Season 8 of Red vs. Blue. A great love is a lot like a good memory. When it's there, and you know it's there, but it's just out of your reach, it can be all you think about. You can focus on it and try to force it, but the more you do, the more you seem to push it away. But if you're patient, and you hold still, then maybe, just maybe, it will come to you. Thanks for watching. Let's stop.